All right, and we are live. Good evening po sa inyong lahat mga kaguro back there in the Philippines now, and of course wherever you may be, maaring good morning, good afternoon, or good evening pa rin sa inyong lahat. No? I hope you are all staying safe. No, I know na meron ngayon bagyo dyan sa Pilipinas, so please stay safe and of course please stay dry. And I hope that you still continue trying to learn with us. Now this is our live stream discussion of our 20-item professional education that you have just answered through your quizzes link that was of course posted on our Facebook page. You can find us on YouTube as Gurong Pinoy, also of course on Facebook as Gurong Pinoy, and you can also see the rest of our social media accounts on your screen right now. All right, now again, this is a 20-item that you have answered through our quizzes link now, through our quizzes live. Start with question number 1. Number 1, according to Bruner, a teacher working with young children should, letter A, push the children to maximum cognitive development as rapidly as possible. Letter B, present all information verbally so the children will listen well. Letter C, present new material from the concrete to the abstract. Or letter D, present new information from the abstract to the concrete. What's your answer for number 1? Ma'am Joy Dairit, maraming salamat po sa inyong maagang pakape. Now, of course, Ma'am Joy is also one of our supporters. Okay, what do you think is the correct answer for number 1? What is the answer for question number 1? This is according to Jerome Bruner, and we have discussed this last night. Maraming salamat, Ma'am Mendaros Esor, for tagging all of your friends. What do you think is the correct answer for number 1? We've talked about this last live stream, no, kahapon po lamang. Okay, now a lot of you here on YouTube are answering letter D. Ma'am Maris Del Campo, maraming salamat po for your paayuda, no, Ma'am Maris, thank you po. Okay, the rest of you, dito sa ating team Facebook, maraming sumasagot ng letter C. Okay, so letter C sa Facebook, yung ating team YouTube ay letter D. Sino kaya yung tama? Okay, so again, going back to the topic that we have here, according to Bruner, a teacher working with young children should, letter A, push the children to maximum cognitive development as rapidly as possible. Okay, so wala nang patumpik-tumpik pa, no? As rapidly as possible, dapat malaman niya ang mga kung anong bagay man gusto mong ituro sa kanya, no? Maximum cognitive development. Letter B, present all information verbally. Okay, now letter C and D, they are opposites. C started with concrete, going to the abstract, while your letter D started with your abstract, going to the concrete. Okay, so ano kaya yung tamang sagot? Now, yesterday we've talked about enactive, iconic, and symbolic. Okay, the different levels according to Bruner's cognitive development, yung modes of learning ng students. And in here, of course, sabi ng team Facebook, it's letter C, and that is the correct answer. Okay, so letter C is the correct answer for number 1. Okay, so letter C po, tama yung ating karamihan sa Team Facebook, no? Letter C is the correct answer. We start with the concrete going to the abstract. Okay, napunta natin yung ating next slide. We talked about this yesterday. We said, according to Jerome Bruner, the learning modes are enactive, iconic, and symbolic. So whenever you say enactive, your child here is learning through movement or through action. Okay, so the child here is learning using concrete objects. Okay, so you have your manipulatives, you have your puzzles, you have your book here, and then your iconic, the learning is through images or icons. Okay, so here the people or the students, the kids are looking at the pictures. Okay, so learning through the pictures, learning through words, learning through the different images or icons. That's iconic. And of course, symbolic, there is the learning through abstract symbols. Okay, so when you say you are teaching the child verbally, that is already going to be part of your symbolic. Okay, so pag verbal, pag research, no, reading for research, that's already symbolic. Okay, so this is the highest level now of learning according to Jerome Bruner. So again, don't forget enactive from concrete to abstract, iconic, no? And then, of course, symbolic. So again, we start from concrete going to the abstract. So again, letter C is the correct answer for the question that we have here. Okay, unang-una ba, ligwak na? Or unang-una, tama? All right, now we go to number 2. What principle of intelligence states that a student seeking information will tend to use the most convenient search method in the least exacting mode available? Is it letter A, principle of least effort? Letter B, principle of extinction? Letter C, principle of discrimination? Or letter D, principle of mindset? Okay, what do you think is the correct answer? Ma'am Erich Apostol, thank you for the unicorn. Maraming salamat po. Again, people who are watching us with Team YouTube, go ahead and please like this video. Mag-like na po ng video natin. Okay, and of course, please do react to this video. Start a watch party. Tag your friends if you're watching us on Facebook. Maraming salamat sa ating mga top fans sa Facebook. Thank you so much. Okay, so we have Ma'am Junive Moralde, top fan, Ma'am Mabel Del Mundo. We have Ma'am Charlene Anladao, Sir Richard Angeles, yung mga top fan natin to. Sir Nakayama Isuke. Ma'am Angel Indonto Ampo. Ma'am RV Joy Tulod. Maraming salamat po. Ma'am Ipumea Mercy. Okay, what's your answer for number 2? Ma'am Mary Chris Mayandok Tamundong, Ma'am Alma Orteza. Thank you to our top fans and of course to our supporters. Ma'am Jeneline Abuel Alejandria, good evening po. Thank you, Ma'am Sohaila Dimakaling for the watch party. Ma'am Bev Cabalfin or Gabalfin, our top fan. Thank you. Ma'am Eileen Magno Cabrera Camahort, top fan. Okay, now number 2 again. What principle of intelligence states that a student seeking information will tend to use the most convenient search method in the least exacting mode available? Is it letter A, principle of least effort? Letter B, principle of extinction? Letter C, principle of discrimination? Or letter D, principle of mindset? The correct answer, of course, would be letter A, that's principle of least effort. Sabi dito the student seeking information will tend to use the most convenient search method. Okay, so as humans, of course, it is very natural for us. It is innate for us to always try to do the easiest, no? Gusto mo lagi yung mas madali, okay? Papahirapan pa ba yung sarili mo? Of course, we'd always want to do what is the easiest, no? That is natural naman as humans, okay? So here, letter A, principle of least effort is the correct answer, not principle of extinction. We've talked about this yesterday, not mindset, okay? Mindset, of course, it would be your readiness. And of course, discrimination, we've also talked about this yesterday. These are parts of the classical conditioning theory by Pavlov. Okay, but here, again, letter A ang tamang sagot for number 2. Okay, so that's letter A for number 2. Now, we go to number 3. With reference to Jung's psychological theory, a shy student who prefers to be alone falls under which classification? Is it letter A, extrovert, letter B, paranoid, letter C, introvert, or letter D, ambivert? Okay, sometimes it's also pronounced as Jung's. Carl Jung. Okay, what do you think is the correct answer? Ano kaya yung tamang sagot for number 3? Team Facebook, what do you think? And Team YouTube, what do you think is the correct answer? Ma'am Honey Ra on YouTube, is looking for gift certificates. Okay, go ahead and offer your gift certificates to Ma'am Honey. So karamihan letter C ang sagot dito sa ating Team YouTube. Team Facebook, what is your answer? Again, go ahead and please do like our video, Team YouTube. Ma'am Samarenyang Waray on Team YouTube. Ma'am, nakapag-send na po ako ng nabili kong gift certificate sa Gurong Pinoy. Waiting na lang po ako sa confirmation. Okay, so we hope someone would already confirm Ma'am Samarenyang Waray's membership, no? Sir Migs, if you're watching and if you can do it now, please do confirm the membership. Alright, now dito sa ating Team Facebook, ganun din, no? Letter C din, Mamalay Agaw Uto. It's also letter C. Sir Kiner Kier, sabi niya blurred, no? Sir, you have to change the settings of the video settings po dito sa Facebook. Okay, so i-click niyo po yung 3 dots sa taas, sir, and change video quality is 720p niyo po. Okay, so if it's blurred, then make sure that you change the video setting. Ganon din sa ating YouTube. Okay, the correct answer here, of course, would be letter C. That's introvert. Okay, so these are people who'd always try to be alone, no? Even if you give them some group work, for example, you give your students group work, they'd ask, can I do it alone? Okay, these are people who'd want to always be by themselves. They don't want to mingle with other people, no? Sometimes we also meet people who are extrovert. Yung extrovert naman, these are people who are out there, no? Yung very sociable, no? Very social nating mga friends, no? These are the life of the party, no? The belle of the ball, no? So sila yung palagi ang leader, no, center of attention sa ating mga parties. These are people who love socializing with other people. Paranoid mo naman, of course, this is the extreme na of being introvert. Yung feeling mo lahat ng tao is after you, no? Lahat ng tao tinitingnan ka, may gagawing masama sa'yo. That's paranoid. And then, of course, you have ambivert. Ito naman is nasa gitna ng extrovert and introvert. Okay, I would think that I am, what do you think of yourself? Are you an extrovert? Are you paranoid? Are you an introvert? Or are you letter D, an ambivert? Okay, what do you think is your personality, no, as according to Jung psychological theory? Are you an extrovert? Are you a paranoid person? Are you an introvert or ambivert ka kaya? Okay, so again, yung extrovert mo, letter A, that is a very sociable person, no? Yung gusto niya palagi may kasama. Letter B, paranoid naman, ito yung extreme ng inyong introvert, no? Feeling niya lahat ng tao against sa kanya. Introvert naman, of course, this is a type of person who always want to be alone. And of course, ambivert is in the middle, okay? So sometimes this person can be an extrovert, other times this person is nagiging introvert din naman. Now again, Sir Kobe Oynoj, again, pag blurry po, just click the 3 dots, no, doon sa itaas, no, sa yung may nakalagay, Guro Pinoy is live now, tapos may 3 dots. I-click nyo po yan, and of course, i-change nyo po yung video settings natin. Okay, introvert, sabi ni Ma'am RV Joy, she's an introvert. Dati extrovert ako, pero parang naging ambivert na ako, sabi ni Ma'am Angel. Ampo, paranoid, Ma'am Chufil. Introvert, Ma'am Tin, parang hindi ka panipaniwala yan. Okay, ambivert. Okay, so karamihan dito, introvert tapos ambivert, no? In my case, I think I'm an ambivert too. Okay, so sometimes you can be an extrovert, but sometimes there are some time na gusto mo na you will be alone, no? Sometimes ayaw mong pumunta sa party, tinatamad ka, no? There are some cases na tinatamad ka mag-socialize. Gusto mo nasa corner ka lang or pupunta ka ng party pero hindi ka makikipag-usap sa maraming tao, no? So, most of us, I think, is an ambivert. Okay? Wow, introvert talaga sa personal, Ma'am Tin. Okay, so again, letter C, number 3, letter C po ang tamang sagot dito. Karamihan ambivert. Okay, now we go to number 4. Which type of guidance service is concerned with putting students into their most appropriate courses? Is it letter A, information service, letter B, individual inventory service, letter C, research service, or letter D, placement service? Okay, so mahilig talagang mag-isa. Ito si Ma'am Edita Hervasio, introvert. Sir Roger Abalos is an extrovert. Okay, ambivert, Ma'am Marquilis Tamundong. First timer, hello po, Ma'am Menchu Canasa Pangilinan. Welcome to Team Facebook. Okay, introvert. Aba, grabe si Ma'am Rufaida Romel. I'm introvert from now on. Okay, so simula ngayon, introvert na si Ma'am. Okay, now number 4 here. Some people have started answering letter D. Okay, dito sa ating Team YouTube, letter D din, yung kanilang sagot. And of course, this is letter D, okay? This is placement, okay? You guide the students so that they can take the most appropriate course for them, no? Yung hindi naman po pwedeng maging teacher, of course, hindi mo i-guide, no? Hindi mo ipupush, hindi mo i-encourage na maging teacher. Pag alam mo na magaling siya sa math, for example, magaling siya mag-drawing, no? And so you need to guide the student into whatever appropriate course he or she should take. No, usually fourth year natin dati, no, fourth year or maybe right now grade 10, ginaguide na sila, no, kung anong gusto nilang maging strand, no. For K to 12 now, meron ng mga ginagawang service para malaman ng mga bata kung ano yung gusto nilang strand, kung ano yung mas appropriate na strand sa kanila, no, pagdating nila ng grades 11, grade 12. No? Dati, fourth year ka, pinapasagot ka ng parang questionnaire, no? Para kung ano yung apt sa'yo na magiging mas magandang employment sa'yo. And of course, that is going to guide you as to how you are going to choose the most appropriate course for you. No? Now, we have to remember that it's not only the guidance counselor who does guidance, okay, to the kids. Hindi lamang po yung guidance counselor dapat yung nag-guide, no? Kahit tayong mga guro, dapat nagiging guidance counselor na din. Okay, so that's letter D. Placement service, not information service. Of course, when you say information, you are giving out information. And ito ay kalakip din ng research service, no? So you research, you find out information, and of course, the letter A mo, information service, dito po, gini-give out mo na, dinidisseminate mo na yung inyong information. Individual inventory service naman, of course, as a guidance counselor, for example, we have files for each student, no? Especially if a student has a lot of problems, a lot of things are going on in the student's life, then you need to really have an inventory of that certain type of individual. Okay, so again, the correct answer would be letter D for number 4. Ma'am sa Marenyang Waray, message po kayo sa messenger ng Gurong Pinoy. Need po muna ng info nyo. Thanks po. Okay, so Ma'am sa Marenyang Waray, make sure that you send a message through our Facebook page. All right, now we go to number 5. Okay, number 5, human development follows a pattern. Which of the following demonstrates this theory? Is it letter A? In a geography class, children learn the different provinces ahead of their own town. Letter B, Petra names Sampaguita, Roses, and Kamya before learning the word flower. Letter C, in mathematics, learners know division ahead of addition. Or is letter D, a child learns the word animals before he can name dog, cat, cow, goat, and cow. Okay, so what do you think is the correct answer for number 5? Number 5, ano po ang tamang sagot? Ayan na naman si Sir Jervy Bukala, meron ding mga pahugot. Sabi niya kanina sa number 4, D, nadapa. Capitalize yung letter D sa nadapa. Good evening, Ma'am Lloyda Quiapo. Habol po tayo. Okay, now most of you are answering letter D. Ano kaya yung tamang sagot, no? Ma'am Loyalyn Dakipel. Good evening po, our top fan. Okay, so again, most of you here are answering letter D on Team YouTube. Ma'am Emeline Galito, Hermitanio Mascardo, maraming salamat for sharing our video and for starting a watch party. Sir, our Ma'am MJ Mupada, our top fan, good evening po. Okay, of course, the correct answer here would be letter D. Tama yan, no? Sabi dito ng inyong question, human development follows a pattern. Which of the following demonstrates this theory? What is a pattern in human development? Of course, we always start from the concrete, going to the abstract. We always start with the simple, going to the most complicated, no? So that is according to our development. We always start with the simple, going to the more complicated, the concrete going to the abstract. And of course here, this is the correct answer. Now you start with the word animals first before you learn dog, cat, goat, cow, etc. You already learn different types of animals. Okay, so you don't teach the children the different provinces ahead of their town. You'd always start with their own town, no? Letter B, You always start with the word flower before you go and name different types of flower. And of course, letter C, you don't start with division ahead of addition. No, we'd always start with the simple, okay, the simplest going to the most complicated. So again, letter D is the correct answer for this question here. Tumpak, sabi ni Sir Jesse Sai. Okay, so again, that is letter D for number 5. Now we go to number 6. A mathematics teacher following Gagne's theory of learning believes that letter A, learning can take place under all conditions. Letter B, learning is only a matter of accurate discrimination. Letter C, learning takes place only when the student is in a receptive state. Or letter D, learning is reinforced chiefly by classical conditioning. Okay, what is the correct answer for number 6? Number 6, mga kaguro, ano kaya yung tamang sagot? Ma'am Heidi Sumandal, Team Facebook. Again, guys, gift certificate is still available. Aba, parang love life ko lang. Ang complicated. Ma'am Jovelyn Damaso. Bakit po naging complicated, ma'am? Again, if you'd want to become a supporter of Guru Pinoy, and dyan po, no, if you open the chat box sa ating Facebook Live, no, there is a button for your support. Okay, so malapit po siya sa comment. Yan pong green na may heart at may chevron na icon. That is our support button. Okay, so if you can support, then please do support Gurong Pinoy. And of course, you are going to be receiving exclusive content every month, no? At meron tayong meeting. Okay, which one is the correct answer for number 6? A lot of you here on Team Facebook is answering letter C. Ganon din sa ating Team YouTube, may pailan-ilang letter D, pero karamihan ay letter C ang sagot. Okay, of course, the correct answer here would be letter C. Okay, so letter C po ang tamang sagot dito. This is Gagne's theory of learning, and he believes that learning takes place only when the student is in a receptive state. Okay, let's take a look at your slide kung bakit letter C ang ating tamang sagot. Okay, these are the 9 events of instruction according to Robert Gagne. No? So, pinakauna, sabi ni Gagne, una-una muna, dapat i-gain mo yung attention ng student. Okay, kaya ito yung ating sagot, no? Receptive state, dapat yung bata ready nang mag-receive ng information, and of course, ready na ding mag-respond to your information. No? That's the reason why we'd always start with your motivation in your classroom. Before you even start with anything, no, any part of your lesson, before you start with your presentation, you'd always start with your motivation. And of course, we need to remember that your motivation, the class motivation should always be connected with your lesson. Dapat konektado siya sa lesson, dapat coherent sila. So again, you'd always start with gaining the attention of the students. You start with your motivation, or sometimes even without the motivation. When I was still teaching at Ateneo, we were doing this. No, we have what we call the silencing period. No, so meron kong tinatawag na silencing muna. It is one way for us to gain the attention of the students. It is one way for the students to become ready for the class. So what do we do during the silencing period? No, yung pagpasok mo, hindi ka magsasalita ka agad, no? And you just stay quiet. You just stay at one corner, stay quiet, okay? And then of course, once the teacher becomes quiet, the students now would try to give attention to the teacher. Ala, ayan na, tahimik na si ma'am. And so the students would get hints from this. The students would also try to tone down. No, they get toned down. They also tend to be calm. No, they calm down. And of course, eventually, all the noise inside the room dies. Okay, so all the noise would die out. And of course, you can already start with your opening prayer. No, kasi sa Ateneo, syempre, Christian. No? It's a Catholic school. It's a Jesuit, the Filipino-Chinese school. And of course, we always start with the silencing period. Then you start with your prayer. We also end with a prayer. No? So again, it's very important that you always start by gaining the attention of your students. Okay, you should always gain the attention of your students. So silence muna. No, they should be ready to learn. They should be motivated to learn. So again, this is also the reason why we have motivation as part of our instruction. Okay, so again, motivation. Then of course, the learners are going to be informed of the objectives of the day. Bakit? Dahil sila po yung kailangang mag-reach ng target na yan, no? Sila po yung dapat na mag-reach ng or mag-hit ng objectives. And so they should be aware of what they're doing within the class period para whatever activities they're doing is going to be it's going to be targeted to that certain objectives. Now, that's going to be their guide so that they can hit your objectives. And of course, prior learning, according to Gagne, it's going to be gauged. So sometimes you can use KWL, or sometimes you can post, for example, your topic is photosynthesis. You can post the term photosynthesis. What do you know about this topic? Now, what is photosynthesis? What is your prior knowledge? What is your experience about certain things? Then, of course, you present your content. Okay, so presentation na to. You give your lecture. Then, of course, you also provide guidance. So by providing guidance, what you do here, of course, is you give some examples. Okay, so you give some examples. For example, if you are talking about speed, okay, speed is distance over time, distance is speed times time, and so on. You give certain sample problems. No? So mag-give ka ng sample problems. And then, of course, you explain how you solve it. And of course, you also have the practice. So practice na, ito na yung classwork na tinatawag. No? So classwork na to ng estudyante. And then you give or you provide feedback. You check their work. Again, remember that feedback should be given right after the activity. No? So hindi po pwedeng yung feedback for a certain test ay binigay mo after 1 month. Okay? So after 2 months. Dapat mabilis yung feedback. Okay? So again, feedback, this is under operant conditioning ni B.F. Skinner. And of course, you assess the performance of the students, no? You check kung ilang estudyante yung mga nakapasa, ilan yung nakahit ng objectives, at ilan yung hindi pa. And so, you enhance retention and you transfer to the job. This is already application. This is already beyond the classroom. But here, going back to your assessment of performance, you try to gauge whether you should reteach, babalikan mo ba yung objective na to, or you should already move ahead. You should already proceed. No? So again, these are the 9 events of instruction according to Gagne. So again, letter C is the correct answer. Your students should be in their receptive state before you start with anything else. Always start with your students' attention. Okay, the attention of your students should already be given to you. Okay, so dapat na attentive na ang inyong estudyante. All right, so again, that would be letter C for this question here. We go to number 7. RA. Okay, the Republic Act, which lengthens the school calendar from 200 days to not more than 220 days to take effect in the school year 1995-1996 is letter A, RA 7797, letter B, RA 7743, letter C, RA 7798, or letter D, RA 7784. What's the answer? Okay, what do you think is the correct answer for question number 7? Sir Javier Credo. Good evening po, Ma'am Mek and my classmates. Ang lamig dito sa Bicol. Tiwi Albay. Okay, malamig daw. Again, Team YouTube, paki-like na po ng ating video. Some of you still have not liked our video. Go ahead and please do like our video. And of course, the more people we have who like this video, the better would be the performance of this video. Okay, a lot of you are here answering letter A. Ganun din sa ating team Facebook, no? Letter A din yung sagot. Ma'am Amy Gahom, thank you po for sharing our video. And of course, the correct answer would be letter A. Okay, so letter A po to, 7797. What about the rest of the RAs that we have here? 7743 is the establishment of congressional, city, and municipal libraries and barangay reading centers. Okay, so this is all about library, yung inyong RA 7743, no? Most of the time, hindi ginagamit yung mga library natin. Meron tayong mga city libraries, may mga municipal libraries tayo, may congressional libraries, and of course, there's also barangay reading centers, no? Yung congressional, hindi ko nakikita yung congressional library namin. But I know there's a city library, and meron ding municipal library. Sa barangay, I'm not sure if there's also a reading center in my own barangay, no? But of course, you need to know that this is because of RA 7743, no? Kalimitan kasi yung mga lumang gusali yung ginagamit sa mga libraries na to, no? Tapos madilim, hindi naman maganda yung mga libro, no? So sometimes hindi ka na pumupunta. In other countries dito sa Amerika, magaganda yung mga libraries nila, no? So ma-entice ka talagang pumunta sa library. Kunwari dito sa amin, no, sa Sumter, meron library talaga na pwede mong puntahan, magaganda yung mga libro, pwede kang gumamit ng computer, no? Sa atin, wala, no? So usually, pangit yung building sa atin ng city libraries, yung mga madidilim na buildings, no? Yung mga hindi na ginagamit na buildings. 7798 mo, this is the amending section 25 of Batas Pambansa Bilang 232. Okay, so this is part of your BP 232, nag-amend na siya ng BP 232. And of course, you have your RA 7784, this is for the Centers of Excellence. Okay, so again, for number 7, letter A is the correct answer. All right, now we go to number 8. Public school teachers must observe the dress code prescribed by the Civil Service Commission. This practice is in the line with the Code of Ethical Standards for Public Official and Employees under Republic Act number. Is it letter A, 6713, letter B, 6731, letter C, 6741, or letter D, 6751? What's the answer? Okay, what do you think is the correct answer for question number 8? Number 8 na po tayo. What's the answer? Cultural lag, sabi ni Sir Kenichi Lorbes dito. Cultural lag, Pilipinas kasi. Oh, kakatakot pa, maraming maligno. Okay, minsan nakita ko yung City Library, no, sa Iloilo. Nasa ilalim siya ng overpass. Okay, malapit siya doon sa Iloilo City National High School. Tapos malapit siya, nasa ilalim siya ng overpass, no? Yung mga nakakatakot na buildings, yung mga hindi na ginagamit na buildings, yun yung ginagawa nilang public libraries. Okay, now here, letter A, karamihang sagot sa ating Team YouTube. Dito sa ating Team Facebook, ganun din, letter A. And of course, this is the correct answer. Okay, so this is the Code of Ethical Standards for Public Officials and Employees. Ito din yung pinag-aaralan ng mga taong magtitake ng civil service, no? Civil service exam natin, no? CSE 6713, that is the correct answer. The Code of Conduct for Public Official and Employees, that is your RA 6713. Now, what about 6731? This is an act changing the name of the Vito Cruz Street in the districts of Malate and Singalong, City of Manila, and in the municipality of Makati, Metro Manila, to Pablo de Leon Ocampo Street. Hindi ko alam kung kailan to change, no, yung Vito Cruz Street, but I think there is still a Vito Cruz station pa rin naman, no? So I'm not sure if this still holds true. So Pablo de Leon Ocampo Street, that's RA 6731. 6741 mo, this is an act declaring August 19 of each year a special working holiday to commemorate the birth anniversary of former President Manuel L. Quezon. Okay, so Quezon Day siya, no? Quezon Memorial Day. That's 6741. 6751, this is an act changing the name of the San Jose Barangay High School in Tacloban City to San Jose National High School. Okay, so that is RA 6751. Hello po sa mga taga-Tacloban. Kumaway na yung mga taga-Tacloban natin, ang mga kaguro. I'm pretty sure maraming taga-Tacloban dito. Okay, so again, the correct answer is 6713. That is letter A for number 8. Now we go to number 9. It is a decree which made the observance of the flag ceremony compulsory. Is it letter A, Republic Act number 467E, letter B, Batas Pambansa Bilang 232, letter C, Republic Act number 1459, or letter D, Republic Act number 1265? What's the answer? Oh, yan oh, sabi ni Ma'am Chufil, yung city library namin parang library namin nung elementary. Okay, we don't know what happened. Bakit ganyan yung mga public libraries natin, no? Tapos kalimitan walang libro. Wala pang ang ilaw minsan eh. Madilim. Wala naman kasi nakukulong sa korupsyon, no, sa ating bansa. Walang nakukulong sa korupsyon. Okay, karamihan sa inyo, yung sagot dito sa ating Team YouTube ay letter D. What about Team Facebook? Okay, letter D din ang sagot ng ating Team Facebook. And of course, that is the correct answer. Okay, so that's RA 1265. This is the observance of the flag ceremony as compulsory. Okay, so there are some schools na araw-araw may flag ceremony. No, hindi ko lang alam kung hanggang ngayon meron. When I had a practice teaching before, yung school kung saan ako na-practice teach, araw-araw may flag ceremony. Meron din naman na every Monday lamang yung flag ceremony nila. Dito sa Amerika, sa aming school, walang flag ceremony. Wala pong flag ceremony. And very recently lamang, kinakanta yung aming school hymn. Okay? So, wala masyado. But they do the allegiance, no? Yung pledge to the allegiance of the flag, no? So, you say, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Yung sinasabi din, if you want to become an immigrant here, no, dapat i-memorize mo siya. Yan yung ginagawa nila, yung parang panunumpa sa watawat nila. But most of them don't actually do that. And karamitan sa mga estudyante dito, ayaw pang tumayo if they are doing the Pledge of Allegiance. So ako nililista ko yung mga hindi tumatayo. Hey, what are you doing? Stand up. Pag hindi tumatayo, nililista ko, sinusumbong ko sa magulang. Okay? Because wala silang tawag dito, wala silang respeto, no? Wala silang hindi naman masyado marami, pero meron talagang ayaw na mag-pledge, no? Yung walang pakialam. And you actually, as a teacher, actually, I cannot force them. Hindi ko sila mapupwersa, no? Even my principals, my assistant principal, they're telling us you can't force them to do the allegiance. But of course, in my case, sa classroom, na dapat nag-a-allegiance talaga, tinitingnan ko sinong hindi nakatayo. Ganyan na nga lang yung gagawin, no? Walang flag ceremony at the beginning of the day lang, merong allegiance to the flag, no? Nasa classroom lang. And of course, meron ding manning high na school hymn. Ayaw pang kumanta, no? So tinitingnan ko din sinong hindi kumakanta. Dapat kumakanta ng malakas, no? Dapat memorize nila yung kanilang school hymn. Sa atin, ang dami. Minsan, meron pang Ako ay Pilipino. Meron pang hymn ng inyong LGU, no? Meron pang hymn minsan ng inyong city, no? Ang daming eklabo sa Pinas. Dito, pag nag-program sila, napakasimple. Pag nag-start ng 8 o'clock, magsa-start ng 8 o'clock, matatapos sa mga 8:15. Tapos na. Would you believe yung graduation dito? Ang bilis. Wala pa sigurong isang oras, no? For example, mga 200 students graduate, wala pang isang oras, tapos na yung graduation. Sa atin, ilang oras, no? Siguro 5 hours, 4 hours. Okay, may mga pamarcha pa kasama yung mga parents, no? Ilang beses pa, marami pang magsi-speech. Dito wala masyadong speech. Okay, at kung graduation, yung principal yung nag-MC. Pag meron namang programa sa, for example, sa school district, yung district superintendent yung nag-MC. Okay? So, tapos makikita mo dito yung mga tawag dito, yung mga politiko nila, minsan nag-a-attend yung mga senador, no, ng aming mga district meeting, pero walang sumasalubong, walang corsage, yung senator, siya yung nagda-drive, siya yung bababa, walang pumapansin, no? Ganito dito, no? Sa atin sa Pinas, grabe, parang hari, parang reyna, no? Yung mga senador, mga principal, or whatever. Okay, so here, again, letter D is the correct answer kung saan na napunta yung ating discussion. Flag ceremony compulsory, RA 1265. 4670, of course, this is the Magna Carta for public school teachers. And of course, you have Batas Pambansa Bilang 232. This is the Education Act of 1982. 1459 mo naman, this is the corporation law. Okay, so lahat ng mga batas sa pagkakaroon ng isang korporasyon, no, is already under RA 1459. Okay, so again, the correct answer is letter D. Now, we go to number 10, an act abolishing the National College Entrance Examination, NCEE, repealing for the purpose of PD number 1467. Is this RA 7977, RA 7323, RA 7877, or RA 7731? What's the answer? Mga provinces, sabi ni Sir Kinechi dito, sobrang late, super late sa technology. Manila paper pa rin hanggang ngayon. Metaplaque pa rin, no? Yung tawag namin dati dyan, metaplaque pa rin. Oh, ayan, di ba? May Masbate City Himpa, sabi ni Ma'am Jennifer Banoy. Oo, ganyan, no? Ma'am Jem Kulanag. Nung elementary days after flag ceremony, paunahan pa makarating sa classroom. Tama po yan. Sobrang lamig din dito sa Cotabato, umiinom ng tea habang nagtitake notes sa lahat ng discussion. Sobrang salamat po, syukran. Okay, that's from Ma'am Malayha Agauto. Again, assalamualaikum po sa mga Muslim brothers and sisters natin. Dito, special treatment talaga. Sabi ni Ma'am Grace Katugas, no? Yung parang, yung iba kasi yung ating treatment ng public service. Yung public service natin, yung public servant natin, dapat na yung mga politiko, think of Vico Soto, no? Yun talaga dapat. Walang special treatment, walang treatment na parang hari, parang reyna, no? Sa ating kasi sa Pinas, iba. Parang hari at reyna yung mayor, yung kung sinong politicians natin. Okay, ayan no, sabi ni Ma'am Maylin Mongkal, meron pa man ang tagal dumating ng politician, hindi talaga mag-i-start yung graduation. Oo nga, no? Hindi makapag-start hanggang walang tawag dito, walang commencement speaker. Dito walang commencement speaker. Kaya wala, dire-diretso lang. Oh, super true, sabi ni Ma'am Tien, VIP. May pakain pa, no? Super true tong may pakain pa kahit magde-defend ka ng thesis mo, magpapa-cater ka pa, no? Ibang-iba sa Pinas. All right, the number 10, an act abolishing the National College Entrance Examination, repealing for the purpose of PD 1467, correct answer here would be letter D. Okay, 7731, that is the correct answer. 7977, we've already seen this as an act kanina, no? Nakita na natin to. RA 7323, an act to help poor but deserving students pursue their education by encouraging their employment during summer and or Christmas vacations. This is your SPES, no? So, yung summer program, no? Yung employment program for students. Yung 7877 naman, this is of course your Anti-Sexual Harassment Act in the employment, education, or training environment. Okay, so again, the correct answer here would be 7731. 7977 mo kanina, this was the act that lengthened the number of days from 200 to 220. Okay, so again, letter D is the correct answer. Number 11, this law was approved in August 2001 and known as an act instituting a framework of governance for basic education, establishing authority and accountability, renaming the Department of Education, Culture, and Sports as the Department of Education. Is this letter A, RA 9155, letter B, RA 8047, letter C, RA 854, or letter D, RA 7104. Ligwak, sabi ni Ma'am Charlene Kalinawan. Okay lang po yan, ma'am. Hindi pa naman let. Oh, na-late si Ma'am Bay Rawia Manua. Kakagising lang. Sarap ng tulog ni mama. Salam. Good evening, ma'am. Watching from Mindanao, Buluan, Maguindanao. First time manood ng live. Hello po, Ma'am Johaira Esmail Otto II. The second ba? Or Il? Maraming salamat po. Welcome sa Team Facebook. Mimaropa Him. Sample nga. Sir RD. Sir RD Canulo. Okay, so sa atin, lahat ng himno, pagkatapos ng Lupang Hinirang, may Ako ay Filipino, may Panunumpa sa Watawat, no? May hymn ng probinsya, may hymn ng city, may hymn ng bansa, no? So sa atin, napakahaba ng mga programa. Kahit yung programa lamang sa fiesta, no? Yung crowning yung coronation ng Fiesta Queen nyo, ang